And what is up, everybody? It is Wick here, and I get asked a lot about how much money I make per hour selling on eBay and Amazon, and every time I see this question I kind of just shake my head a little bit because it's one of those questions you can't really answer unless you're really keeping in-depth data on everything you do, because sometimes I go out sourcing and that may take some time, and then I bring items home, then I list those items, and sometimes I might just spend a day just organizing stuff and cleaning up and moving inventory. So it's just all kinds of different things you're doing constantly that it makes it hard to really figure out how much you're making per hour. But I'm going to go over some items here that I've sold recently. These are 10 items. All these items were listed in an hour. So we'll see how much we can make. And these are, I went through some of my, well, these aren't that recent because I haven't done one of these videos in a while, but these are some older sales. And there's really not a whole lot of home runs in here. So it's very realistic on the types of stuff you'd be selling, especially if you're going thrifting and to garage sales. And then hopefully this will give you an idea on the types of profits you can make working per hour and selling on eBay. But the first thing here is this Honeywell water heater gas valve. I found this just sitting on a Goodwill shelf just like it is here. Had a $4.99 price tag on it. Wasn't sure what it was. I thought it went with a furnace or a water heater, so just looked up the model number, seen it sold pretty good new and still pretty good used. I did not know if it was new or used. It looked like it was unused to me, therefore I still sold it as used. But I took pictures of everything and I put in the listing, you know, I'm not unsure if this has been used. Kind of looks like maybe it was put in, but it was really clean. So yeah, I got $55.39 in the end. After my fees, my cost, and my shipping cost, I made $36.83 on it, so it was a really good flip. So here are some Irish setter boots I got at a yard sale. These are Gore-Tex. I saw these at a yard sale along with some, I believe it was Merrell boots. There were two nice boots next to each other. They're $8 a piece. I held up both pairs and I said, how much could you do if I bought both of these? And they did $6 a piece on them. So that was great. I would have paid the $8 for them though. I sold this pair for $56.89. Got $33.45 after all shipping and fees. So yeah, Irish Setter is a great brand. These are pretty clean. The Gore-Tex helps. Anything Gore-Tex, you know, I've mentioned this many times in videos. Usually brings more. You can find a Columbia jacket for like 20 bucks at Goodwill and you're like, oh, that's too high. Columbia is so saturated on eBay. But if it happens to say Gore-Tex on it, it may be, and it's vintage, you may be able to get $200, $300 for it. So keep an eye out for Gore-Tex items. Here is a lot of Littlest Pet Shop toys. I do not know much about these at all. And I found 3 bags, like Ziploc bags, maybe about that big, at Goodwill. They were $1.99 a piece. Some of the toys in there weren't even Littlest Pet Shops after I did some investigating. But I bought all 3, so I had $6 into them. And I bought them because it's a great way to learn about these things. I know people buy these, they collect them. I know there's some that are worth a lot of money. So I did learn a lot about these, and I probably would pick up more lots in that price range, not knowing what's in there. I do wish these did a little bit better than what they'd done. I paid $6 for all of them, and I did an auction on them because I didn't know if there was any like really rare ones in there, and I didn't want to take all the time to, you know, look these up, because when you're trying to make money per hour and you're trying to keep that rate up, you don't want to be spending a lot of time looking up stuff and cleaning it. So you want to try to minimize that stuff so you can list faster. However, nothing wrong with spending the time learning about something new, because then in the future you can make purchases and make more money. So out of the 10 items that I listed, this one probably took the longest to list. I would say maybe 20 minutes I had involved in this. I did not look up each Littlest Pet Shop figure. Like I said, I just put them out here for auction, and I figured if there's any collectors, they're going to know exactly what they're looking for, and they're going to bid each other up, and it's going to make about what it's worth. Now, I could have sold each one of these individually, maybe for like $5, made like $1, $2 profit maybe on them. Again, that would have took a lot more time, and I figured just list this and move on to better items. But at auction, it made $27.45. So after all the shipping and cost and fees, I made $7.12. So I more than doubled my money. Everyone that watches the channel knows I like to make at least $10 per item for my time. However, in this case, you know, it was a test. I learned a lot about Littlest Pet Shops by just Googling like fan websites and just reading about them. So, you know, I was sitting in my recliner just researching all this Littlest Pet Shop stuff, and beneficial to add knowledge to my reselling knowledge bank. Here are some Converse shoes. These came out on a cart at Goodwill while I was out there. I saw these. I figured I was probably going to buy them. They were, let me look at my cheat sheet, $7, $6.99. Still had the tags. There was a Target tag on there with a price. I just cut that one off. I forget what Target was selling these for, but I believe I sold them for around the same price. I got $40.39 after shipping. Of course, I have buyer pay the shipping on the Converse shoes, so they're going to pay, if they live in California, they're going to pay a lot more in shipping. If they live right next to me, then they're going to pay a lot less. For something like shoes, I always want to do the calculated shipping because it can be $5 to $10 price difference in shipping depending on where it goes. So if you're doing free shipping, you can just get caught. It always seems like it's going the furthest place when I do free shipping. So there are items I do free shipping on, mostly first class items that ship for £1 or less, because it doesn't matter where they go, you're not going to pay a lot more in fees or shipping costs, I guess. But yeah, these were a great flip. I love flipping shoes. Made $18.88 profit in the end on them. Why not sell them? So here is a vintage Littlefoot dinosaur from Land Before Time. I found this at a yard sale for $0.25, and I flipped it for $24.99. And after all my fees, $12.19 is what I made on it. So a pretty good flip. It was pretty big plush. It was a Gund, which Gund plushes tend to sell better most of the time. It did have a little wear around the eye. I don't know if you can see it in this video. It was kind of, the paint was kind of faded in the brown. And I have this thing when I sell stuff like this on eBay, I want it to be perfect, and I feel like, oh, mine has a bad eye, the paint's fading, no one's going to want to buy it, and it just goes in my death pile. That's kind of how my mind works, and I've been pushing myself out of that mentality. So I just listed that. I pointed out, you know, the little flaw, and it still sold for $24.99, and the person left really nice feedback. They said it was everything they ever dreamed of. So that's pretty good feedback. So yeah, don't be scared to sell something just because it has a flaw. Just make sure you describe the flaw and they know about it. Here's a bread and butter item. This is a Wii Rock Band dongle. I picked this up for $0.25 at a yard sale. I sold it for, no, 50 cents at a yard sale. I sold it for $14.99. After shipping, made $10.25. These things ship for like $2.75. So it was a bread and butter, easy flip. I've sold a lot of dongles in my reselling ventures. Back when I started reselling, you could get $50 for the PS3 dongles easily. Now you can still get it like $24, I think it is. I haven't sold a PS3 one in a while. Actually, I did recently. I don't remember what I sold it for. I think it was in one of these videos even. But yeah, when you see these things for 50 cents, you just automatically pick them up because you know you're going to make some money on them. So here's something I found at Goodwill for $2.99. This is an American Girl bike. Pretty big bike. It was sitting over with the knickknacks, like the little ceramic knickknacks you put on shelves. Apparently they didn't know it was American Girl or understand what it was because they probably would have priced it up. And I bought it. I didn't even look it up because I knew I was going to pay $2.99 for it. I thought it was going to be worth a little bit more than what I sold it for because it was American Girl. I thought it would be like $50, $60, $70. However, I did end up selling it for $45.49 shipped. So I made $21.49. So that's great profit. But when I went to list this particular bike, I noticed it was supposed to have a basket. I believe a basket, maybe something else even. I think it might have been a a little like luggage cart or something it pulled. I don't remember exactly. So I just listed it, as it is and put a generous price on it. And I still made some great profit in the end. Here's something I picked up years ago at Goodwill for $4.99, and it somehow ended up in my death pile. And I opened a tote and I seen it and I'm like, why did I never list this? I don't know. So I pulled it out. I snapped 2 pictures of the front and back, and it took 5 minutes to list this item, and ended up selling for $49.99. And after my costs, I made $25.10. So yeah, don't put stuff in the death pile. Just deal with it. Hey, look, a Jurassic World toy. These are from the Brawlosaurus line. These are really small. I picked this up for 99 cents at Goodwill. It seems like maybe it was 69 cents. No, these were 99 cents, I remember. 99 cents, and sold it for $19.99. So I made $13.87 profit in the end. And it's been a while since I found a good Jurassic World toy. I picked up a few recently that were kind of ones I'm going to have to bundle. But I picked up a couple of the Indominus Rex and sold for around $200. I picked up actually a sealed Brawlosaurus set with the Indominus Rex and T-Rex, I think it was. And I sold that for like $175. So some of these vintage Jurassic World toys are worth, they're not even really vintage, they're just out of print. So yeah, look for anything that has the JW or the JP. Some of the vintage JP toys can be great money. But why wouldn't you pick up something for 99 cents and list on eBay that just, you snap a few pictures and list it? This one probably took about 5 minutes to list as well. And then finally, I paid $12.99 for these boots at Goodwill. These were Reebok work boots. They were steel-toed or maybe just composite toe. I don't remember exactly. They were really clean condition, had a little bit of mud on the bottom. They went at $12.99, and the comps didn't look that great when I looked them up on eBay. I'm like, these might take a while to sell. Not going to sell for a whole lot. But what made me decide to 100% buy them was that they were size 14, which means there's probably not a lot of people looking for Reebok safety boots. They probably look for other brands. But people who have size 14 shoes that need work boots, they're probably the ones that come across this and they say, oh, Reebok, I like these. It did take 2 or 3 months for these to sell, but I got $76.29 for these. I forget what the buyer paid shipping, but they paid like $25 to have these shipped. I don't remember where they went exactly. It must have been California for me. But in the end, I made $28.94 profit on them. So you can't beat that. I'm glad I picked them up. And I'll be honest, I didn't even take the time to clean the mud off the bottom. A lot of times with these shoes, I think people expect them to have flaws, especially if they're used. So I don't really spend, I mean, if it's really bad, like this was just some dried mud in between some areas. But I mean, if it's really bad, I'm probably going to clean them, at least attempt to. I did just take a rag and wipe the sides of the black where some of the mud splattered up there. And after that, it only took 10 or 15 minutes to list these. So it really doesn't take that long. I don't buy shoes where I have to spend an hour prepping them, unless, I'm making like $100. But yeah, that's a great flip on these boots. So the total in the end, between these 10 items that took about an hour to list, was $208.12. So you could say, hey, I'm making $200 an hour selling on eBay. But you have to look at other factors such as how long it took to source these items. These items I picked up, I may have just went out for an hour thrifting and found just these boots. So that's an hour of your time you got to factor in. I may have went out and picked up 9 more of these items in a 5-hour thrifting trip, where I bought a bunch of other stuff where I'm going to make $500 or $600 when it sells. And it may take 2 or 3 hours to list that stuff I found. So you begin to see how many factors there are and how hard it is to just say, I make this much per hour. There's been items where I've put in literally an hour work and I made $5,000. But I can't sit there and say I make $5,000 an hour selling online, because if that was the case, I would be working 16-hour days every day to make $5 grand an hour. If I really had to break it down, I would say I would make $25 to $50 an hour for my time in just selling on eBay and Amazon. Because sometimes you get, like I said, those hours where you make $5,000. Sometimes you get those hours where you may only make $10. Sometimes you get those hours where you make nothing, where you go sourcing for three hours and you come back with nothing, or you're just moving inventory, organizing inventory, and stuff like that, where you're not really making any money. It just helps the business end. So $200 on eBay is very possible. It just depends on what you're selling. If you have employees that are listing for you and doing all this stuff, and you have inventory just pouring in from different sources where you don't have to go source, you could easily be making $200 or $300 an hour on eBay. But the one thing I love most about reselling, selling on eBay, Amazon, and all that is you make money based on how much effort you put into it. And I think that's awesome, because you can go to a 9-to-5 job and you can put everything you got into it, and you're still only going to make that hourly wage or that salary. You're never going to, you can move up in the company, maybe get a raise or something, but you're still limited with reselling or anything like that, where you're free to use your own mind and just grow at your own pace and your own power set. I think it's really awesome. But anyway, before I ramble anymore about this stuff, that's the video. 10 items I've sold on eBay, made $200.08 in an hour of listing. Please hit that like button for me if you enjoyed this video, and if you'd like to see more videos. I do vlogs all the time. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at flipping_junk, and ring that bell. This has been Wick. Till next time.